Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Cody. Today we're talking about Voyager Digital because Voyager Digital went on a pretty massive run as we went into the close. This is one of my favorite stocks in the whole stock market right now. It's extremely volatile, and it's one of those stocks that can make you really happy and make you in a really good mood, or it can get you down in the dumps because it's down 15-20% in a single day and you just are wondering what you're doing altogether. So Voyager is one of my favorite stocks. I think there's a massive opportunity ahead for this company, and I want to talk a little bit about why we saw such massive volume going into the close here today. I think there could be a number of different reasons. We're going to talk about some of the recent news. I couldn't find any recent news as we went into the close as to what could cause this, so I'm going to throw out some theories, some ideas about what I think it could be, and I want you to share what your thoughts are as well in the comments below as to why we saw this. You know, either way, I'm not complaining. It put me in a really good spot, made me have a really good day. I'm not counting on it because I wouldn't be surprised if this went down, 15% on Monday. I would not be surprised about that, and it doesn't really matter because I'm not selling at this point. I think there's a long way to go for this company, and I think that by the year's end, this is easily going to be a 2 or 3x stock as you start to see these numbers roll in month over month. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about my position in this company and what we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and close that for a minute. We have right here in this account, I have 778 shares. This is 35% of this account. I'm sitting on a current value of $17,500. I put in about $15,000 here. So this 18% run here today, you can see just on this chart, man, it's just massive. It has really put me in a good spot here for this account. I've got another 339 shares here. Cost basis of $22.08, about $7,500 here. I'm just above break even there, but I'm not worried about that because I think it's going to go much higher over the coming weeks and months. In this account, I'm a little bit lower, $21.36 on my cost basis, 237 shares here, and another $5,000. So overall, between these three accounts, I'm sitting probably at a roughly, probably like 12 to 15%, somewhere in that range of Voyager being of my total portfolio, right? So Voyager makes up that percentage of my overall portfolio. Now, if Voyager continues to run, I may sell off a little bit because I really don't want to be above 15% in any one stock. I have a pretty good position in Tesla as well, but for this particular company, it's just too volatile, so I might bring that back down. If it does run up, I might sell off a couple shares, take a little bit of profit off the table, and just let the rest of it continue to run. I just don't want to have too much exposure to just one company, but I do think there's massive opportunity here for this company in the short run. So let's talk a little bit about why I love this company so much. I want to compare it to Coinbase because Coinbase obviously just had their IPO. They're sitting right here, according to Google, at roughly a $59 billion market cap. Now, if we come over here and look at what Voyager's sitting at, according to Yahoo Finance here, let me move this over here so you can see that Coinbase right here, $59 billion market cap. Voyager is currently sitting at roughly $2.8 billion according to Yahoo Finance based on these most recent numbers. Now, they may be up or down from there slightly, but just using these rough numbers here, you can see that Coinbase is almost, 30 times, or it's about 20 times bigger than Voyager. Now, obviously, Coinbase is much further ahead. They're much more well-known. So, yes, they should be in that position. They should be a much bigger company. But I think this shows the runway and the type of opportunity that's out there for Voyager to continue to grow in this space. They're seeing massive user growth, and a lot of people are making that move from Coinbase over to Voyager because you get interest paid on the crypto that you hold with on their platform. I actually made a video about that. I'll link to it up here on one of these sides of the video here about how to do that if you want to move your money over from Coinbase to Voyager. That video will show you exactly how to do that. You can move your crypto from one platform to the other and start earning interest on your crypto for having it just sit in your account, basically. So I love that aspect. That's why I hold all of my crypto with Voyager Digital. So it's about 20 times bigger. I think there's a massive runway for Voyager. I think there's going to be massive growth. Like I said, it could be easily a 2 to 3x by the end of the year, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this go 4, 5, even 10x over the next couple of years. So let's talk a little bit about the news that came out. This actually came out, I think it was either early this morning or late last night. But it did come out earlier in the day today. So this is the first thing I want to talk about. Voyager Digital, a publicly traded company, has announced partnering with Blockdaemon, a leading blockchain node infrastructure platform with enterprise-grade security and monitoring. Under the partnership, the companies will initially integrate validator nodes on Ethereum, Polkadot, and Tezos onto the Voyager platform, with plans to expand the offering to include more than 30 digital assets that Blockdaemon currently supports, including Cello, Terra, and Algorand. Now, a lot of altcoins in there that I'm not too familiar with, but the important thing here is what this is going to do for the two companies. The alliance with Block Demon is expected to allow Voyager to maintain full custody of staked assets. So Voyager is going to hold on to that, where you can now stake your assets. And again, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, but basically staking it is a method of verifying the blockchain, basically. So this is going to allow Voyager to maintain full custody of those staked assets and protect their relevant private keys while potentially earning returns that can exceed those of lending interest rates. So the cool thing about Voyager right now is that they have been lending out your crypto. If it's held on your platform, you kind of agree to this. If they're going to lend out that crypto to other institutions or banks or companies who are earning interest on that, and then Voyager's collecting that and passing it on to you as the holder of that cryptocurrency. So that's how they're paying it, is they're actually lending it out to other people. Well, in this case, they're saying that you can potentially earn a higher return by using it as a staked asset. So this is massive, because not only are they going to have the advantage when it comes to lending interest rates, because those will probably eventually stabilize and come down quite a bit, but now you've got the potential to earn higher returns using the staked asset method. So this is really cool, because everybody's kind of expecting in the crypto space, hey, they can't pay these high interest rates forever. Otherwise, it's just unsustainable, right? There's basically, there has to be risk if there's reward, and everybody's kind of concerned about that. And so those lending numbers are going to come down eventually, but this gives you certainty. This gives me certainty anyway, that Voyager is planning ahead, and they're looking at this and saying, honestly, we're in a position where we're looking ahead to what's going to happen when those interest rates do come down, right? They're looking ahead and saying, okay, we need to find another way to bring value to our customers to keep them on the platform. And this is just a genius way to do it. The collaboration enables Voyager to continue to pay returns to its valued customers generated from reliable institutional-grade infrastructure with support from Block Demon's secure infrastructure and protocol-specific automated blah, 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 blah. The firm expects to eliminate the risk of double signing and slashing to protect customers' assets. Tokens will be safely stored in Voyager's insured custody management solution with its qualified custodian, preventing leakage of any critical information. In the future, the partnership also expects to enable Voyager to add support for more assets supported by Block Demon. So this is just amazing information here. I'm super stoked about this. This is just showing that, hey, the whole industry is growing so quickly, and this is moving in the right direction. And I think there's a bright outlook for Voyager and these other companies that are getting partnered up with them. So super stoked about that. I don't think that's what caused the actual run in the stock price today. Let's take a look at some other news. I don't think this is what caused it either, but this is massive news and something I want to talk about, because there is some kind of negatives that come along with what they're doing here. So Voyager Digital adopted a normal course issuer bid under which it can repurchase up to 5% of its shares. This will commence on May 30th and terminate on May 30th of 2022. So this is not going to take place until May 30th of this year, so about a month from today, and it will terminate within a year after that. So this is going to happen sometime in that time. Common shares repurchased by Voyager under the NCIB will be purchased for cancellation. So basically what this is Voyager's going to buy back their shares, which as a company, if you've got the cash to do that, I think that makes it really, that's really enticing, because it shows that you have enough cash on hand to buy back the shares, so that the shares that are remaining are worth more than they were initially, because there's less of them out there. However, I'm a little bit concerned about this, because I think this could cause a little bit of more volatility in the market, because if those shares come out of the market, well, now potentially there's less sellers who are willing to sell those shares, and so the bid-ask price spread could potentially be higher, right? If somebody comes in and says, I'm willing to pay this price, and the seller says, okay, I'm willing to sell it to you for this price, that's how the market value is determined. Well, that could be much more volatile now. We could see swings up or down, because now there's potentially going to be less shares in the market to trade hands, right? If those shares don't exist, well, then that means that there's possibly less traders in the market, which, although yes, that is very good for us long-term holders, the share price should go up now that there's less of them out there. Unfortunately, it does, I think, in my opinion, I think could create some volatility in the market. So just something you have to be prepared for. Until this company gets up to like a 5, 10, $15 billion company, I think there's still going to be massive amounts of volatility. And I wouldn't be surprised to see these future, 18% gains and then be down 10% the next day, and then back up 20 the next day after that. So Just some massive changes there. I want to take a look at this, the volume that we saw going in here at the end of the day here. So we started out the day, we had a little bump up. We went from roughly like $19.50 on the share price to, let's say just under $20.50 here. We're hovering around $20.33 for most of the day. Kind of traded flat throughout the whole entire day. Volume was fairly low. You can see the volume. And then as we zoom in here, look at this massive spike in volume. So we saw, very small amount of shares trading hands here. We saw 6.5 million shares here, and then we just saw this big, massive jump of 27 million shares right here, 27.5 million shares. So I don't know what that was. I think it could have been, possibly an institution, could have possibly been somebody with a lot of money, coming in and buying those shares. But that is just absolutely insane to see that amount of volume there happening in that one little time frame. Then after that, kind of died down a little bit. It was a little bit flat for a couple minutes. And then I think the traders kind of started to jump in and said, hey, we just saw this huge boost. This might be going on a run. We might be able to make some profit here before the end of the day. So looking at these shares here, kind of traded flat, and then it just started climbing, from roughly like this just over $21 mark all the way up to $22.50. And you can just see the volume was absolutely massive going into the close here. So this is like roughly the last, 10, 15 minutes or so. Volume was just up massively, hovering between, 10 and 20 million in this range compared to the roughly, 500,000 that it saw throughout the day. So this is absolutely phenomenal news. Who knows what this was? I couldn't find any news on why this happened. I think potentially there could be some news that comes out later today. I don't know what we'll find about why this happened, but we'll figure it out. So if you're invested in Voyager, I'd love to hear your thoughts on potentially who this was, potentially where the stock is going, and just your thoughts on the company overall. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you'd like, and we'll catch you in the next one.